He is known for being a Cyrenaic presbyter, ascetic, and priest associated with the doctrine of Arianism. He is recognized for his teachings about the nature of the Godhead in Christianity, emphasizing God the Father's uniqueness and Christ's subordination under the Father. His name is Arius. In the ancient world, amidst the rise of Christianity, a figure emerged who would challenge the prevailing understanding of the nature of the Godhead. His name was Arius, a Cyrenaic presbyter, ascetic, and priest associated with the doctrine of Arianism. Arius put forth teachings that emphasized the uniqueness of God the Father and the subordination of Christ under him, diverging from the dominant Christology of the time. These teachings sparked a theological controversy that would ultimately bring Arius to the forefront of the First Council of Nicaea in 325, convened by Emperor Constantine the Great. The council aimed to unify the newly recognized Christian Church and address the divisions arising from differing interpretations of Christology. Arius became a primary topic of discussion as his ideas challenged the prevailing doctrine of co-equal Trinitarianism, which portrayed God the Father and Jesus Christ the Son as of one essence and co-eternal. Critics of Arius's theology argued that it implied a time before the Son of God existed, when only God the Father existed. Despite concerted opposition, Arian Christian churches persisted for centuries throughout Europe, the Middle East, and North Africa. These churches faced suppression through military conquest or voluntary conversion to other forms of Christianity between the 5th and 7th centuries. Although Arius did not originate the conflict surrounding the Son's relationship with the Father, he intensified the controversy and brought it to a wider theological audience. His teachings, though disavowed by some later Arians, came to be associated with him due to the prominence of the conflict. Arius's influence on the development of Christian thought and the ongoing debates surrounding the nature of the Godhead would leave a lasting impact on the history of Christianity. Arius, a man of strong convictions and ascetic achievement, was an influential figure in early Christian theology. Born to a father named Ammonius, Arius studied under Saint Lucian at the Exegetically School in Antioch. After returning to Alexandria, he found himself embroiled in a dispute over the readmission of those who had denied Christianity under fear of Roman torture. It was during this time that Arius aligned himself with Meletius of Lycopolis and was ordained a deacon under his guidance. However, Arius's support for Meletius led to his excommunication by Bishop Peter of Alexandria in 311. Despite this setback, he was eventually readmitted to Christian communion under the leadership of Peter's successor, Achillas. In 313, Arius was appointed as a presbyter of the Baucalis district in Alexandria, solidifying his place within the Christian community. Throughout his life, Arius faced criticism and accusations from his opponents. However, some historians argue that he was actually quite conservative in his theology, lamenting what he saw as the mixing of Christian beliefs with Greek paganism. Despite these disagreements, Arius remained steadfast in his convictions and maintained a reputation for his ascetic lifestyle and moral integrity. Described as tall, lean, and possessing a distinguished appearance, Arius exuded an aura of intellectual superiority. Women were captivated by his beautiful manners and touched by his apparent asceticism, while men were impressed by his intellectual prowess. His character and personal achievements stood in contrast to the negative portrayal of him by his opponents. Arius's philosophy and teachings continue to be a topic of debate and analysis. While his original writings have been lost to history, scholars have pieced together his beliefs through the writings of his detractors. His conservative approach to theology and his rejection of the blending of Christian thought with pagan influences offer valuable insights into the challenges of maintaining true moral and spiritual integrity in the face of societal pressures. Arius, a prominent figure in the early Christian church, found himself embroiled in a controversy that would bear his name for centuries to come. It all started when Alexander of Alexandria, the bishop who succeeded Achillas, delivered a sermon emphasizing the similarity between the Son and the Father. But to Arius, this sounded like a revival of Sabellianism, a heretical belief that denied the distinctiveness of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. In response, Arius condemned Alexander's sermon and put forth his own controversial doctrine. He argued that if the Father begot the Son, then the Son must have had a beginning of existence. And if there was a time when the Son did not exist, it meant that he had his substance from nothing. This belief challenged the traditional understanding of the eternal nature of the Son and sparked a heated debate within the Church. Arius's thinking was influenced by the teachings of Lucian of Antioch, a renowned Christian teacher and martyr. Although there is no evidence that Lucian himself taught Arianism, Alexander of Alexandria, Arius's bishop, accused him of having heretical tendencies which he believed were passed on to Arius. Lucian, in a sense, became the Arius before Arius. The controversy surrounding Arius's philosophy had profound implications for the early Christian church. It forced theologians and bishops to grapple with questions of the nature of God and the relationship between the Father and the Son. The debates that ensued shaped the development of Christian theology and led to the formulation of the Nicene Creed, which affirmed the divinity of Christ. In daily life, the Arian controversy reminds us of the importance of critical thinking and intellectual inquiry. It teaches us that even within religious traditions, different interpretations and beliefs can arise, leading to division and conflict. It encourages us to engage in respectful dialogue and seek a deeper understanding of complex theological concepts. Ultimately, the Arian controversy serves as a reminder that the pursuit of truth requires open-mindedness and a willingness to question deeply held beliefs. Eusebius of Nicomedia, a staunch supporter of Arius, played a significant role in the Arian controversy during his lifetime. However, history has painted a complex picture of Eusebius, with some describing him as an unscrupulous intriguer. It is important to note that our understanding of Eusebius primarily comes from the accounts of his enemies, who held a bitter stance against him. Nonetheless, there are instances that highlight Eusebius' integrity and courage, leading some to conclude that he was a man of strong character and great ability. During his life, Eusebius took charge of the affairs of the Greek-speaking Eastern Church, exerting his influence from 328 until his death. He was deeply committed to spreading the Christian faith beyond the frontiers of the Roman Empire, and he actively encouraged missionaries to promote his version of the Christian faith, which aligned with Arius's philosophy, rather than that of Athanasius. Eusebius' zeal in promoting his beliefs serves as evidence of his conviction and dedication. While his opponents may have portrayed him in a negative light, it is essential to consider the complex nature of historical accounts and the biases that may have influenced them. Eusebius' involvement in the Arian controversy sheds light on the intricacies of religious disputes and the impact they can have on the development and spread of different theological perspectives. Understanding the complexities of historical accounts and the biases that shape them can be valuable in our daily lives. It reminds us to approach information with a critical mindset and to consider multiple perspectives before forming judgments or conclusions. By recognizing the potential limitations of historical narratives, we can cultivate a more nuanced understanding of the past and its relevance to our present circumstances.
Do you want to explore more philosophers? Who do you want to see featured next? Subscribe and leave a comment below to let me know. I'll see you in the next video.